will you please grab a packet from up here if you did not already. Everybody that's on Zoom, I will have packets here for whenever you get to the office, and I will also share my screen. The first thing that we're going to talk about today is vision and dental. These are policies that lots of people have questions about and maybe don't necessarily know much about how they work. And so I want to give you a little bit. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. These are not necessarily something that I would emphasize a lot. You don't make a lot of money off of them. There's quite a few concerns, especially with the dental plan, on what kind of service that we're able to provide through the dental plan. But I'll give you the information regardless, okay? So we're going to start with vision. The first thing that we're going to see here is our marketplace bulletin and the brochure. So the brochure is what you would show to a potential client if we're talking about vision plan. Some quick highlights: it's only available in the state of Missouri, not in the state of Illinois. So we cannot offer vision and dental in the state of Illinois. So don't even ask. When you do vision and dental, you have to have 5 employees sign up for the plan at the initial enrollment. So let's say you have ABC. They have 15 employees eligible. Only 4 of them say they want vision plan. Can we move forward with the vision plan for ABC Plumbing? No. No, because we have to have 5 people say, yes, please, I want vision. So if you're talking to a small business and they have 5 employees and that business owner is not saying, yeah, I definitely am going to pay for that for each of my employees, I'm not even going to bring up vision plan, because you don't want to say, yeah, we can definitely do vision and dental in the state of Missouri, and then you have 2 people say, yes, you want it, and then you have to say, sorry, we can't offer it because we don't have the minimum, right? Once you have ABC Plumbing and they've set it up and they have the plan, then you don't have to have 5 people enroll every enrollment. It's already open and it's available to them. So you could have 1 person or 2 people add on, okay? But at the original initial enrollment for a business, they have to have 5 employees say, yes, I want it. Not just eligible, but yes, I want it, okay? The vision plan is somewhat decent if I had to compare it to the dental, okay? They're actually provided through iMed, which is right here on the very front of the brochure. It works with a network of providers, including LensCrafters, Pearle Vision, and Target. Okay, that is all located right here. And then on the back, it shows you what they are eligible for. Okay, so very similar to vision plans that you're familiar with. Every 2 years, you can get an eye exam. Every 2 years, you can get eyeglasses or contacts. Here's an allotment. If you want to get a special UV coating or something that's going to cost this much extra, blah, 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 blah. Okay, very, very similar to a vision plan that you are familiar with, okay? It does show you if you're outside of that network provider, what it's going to cost or what they're going to provide benefits for. In the marketplace bulletin, it's going to go into more specifics there, again, with the eligibility. Can I have a dependent? Can I have that thing? Remember, we're talking about 5 employees saying yes. It does not matter if you have an employee plus a spouse and 3 kids. That's not 5 people. That's still just 1 plan, okay? On the vision plan, this is what the group application looks like. So remember, when you're going to close a business, you would have your section 125, right? And that sets up on that last sheet. It says, yes, we want cancer, critical illness, group term, blah, 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 okay? But when we're ready to set up a vision plan, and then the dental has one as well, when you're ready to put this plan into place, you do have to have an application that's signed by the business owner, okay, that says, yes, I want to offer this plan to my people. And then each person has their own individual paper application. This is not through the e-app. Vision is 2-sided, dental is 1-sided. You are supposed to add all of this information here. Your AD can help you fill out if you need help. Almost all of this information is found in your e-app whenever you've enrolled them for their no-cost benefits. Again, you're going to really emphasize selling life insurance anyways, because that's your best commission. Vision and dental should be something very, very last priority in my very humble opinion, okay? The only thing is on these, if you're going to have dependents, if you have a spouse, if you have kids that you're adding to this plan, you are supposed to have not just their birth dates, but their social security numbers, okay? So that is a step above what we don't always put into our e-app, okay? Finally, at the end of the application is a physical signature from the applicant. So from each employee, they are supposed to sign a paper application for a vision or a dental application. Okay. Now, in your photocopies, I know, Anthony, you're looking for it, that I did not copy that second page, so I was trying to condense how many papers we have. This is just an example. So you're not going to use this as your actual application because each application, you guys, has a specific number up here in the top right-hand corner. You can't turn in the same number 03 for 15 different applicants, right? So if you need a vision application, you're going to talk to your AD. They are in the storage closet, but because they're serialized, you have to have the actual physical copy. Okay. Last thing is the premium deductions. Okay. So when you're looking at vision, that's down here at the bottom. Let me see if I can make it bigger. You are looking at how many eligible employees there are. Not how many signed up, but how many are eligible, okay? So let's take our example again. ABC Plumbing, they have 15 employees. So which bucket are they gonna be in? Group of 1 through 9 or group of 10 plus? Group of 10 plus. Even if they only had 5 people sign up, they still have eligible in the 10 to 100, okay? If they only have, if this is a family run business, they only have 7 employees, even if you only have 5 sign up, you're still in that bucket. So you know how much to quote them for their costs. And then it tells you, you either have family or you have individual, and then what's your payroll deduction amount. Vision and dental are both pre-tax benefits. It's on the left-hand side of your payroll form. It's only available in Missouri. Any questions on vision? Okay, so then same thing for our dental. There is a brochure. I am going to strongly suggest you do not bring up dental to people. This is a garbage plan. It's garbage. So if you look into this brochure, this is a reimbursement plan. This is not what we're going to pay for, and this is your copay. So when you're looking at your scheduled benefits, which is right here in front of you or on your photocopy, for instance, a periodic oral examination. You go to the dentist and you get your teeth checked every 6 months, right? You get your exam and you get a cleaning. Well, you're going to pay that full amount, whatever that dentist charged, and this plan's going to send you a check for $15. Okay, we're not paying $15 for our cleaning. Liberty National or this Spiritus dental company is going to send me a check for $15 after I file the paperwork to get that. Okay. So you're not looking at like, oh, I only have to pay $45 for my x-rays that I take every 3 years. No, that's how much you're going to get back. And you're going to pay the full $500, $700, whatever the cost of the x-rays are. You're going to get $45 back. Okay. And you're already paying premiums. So if you remember, we looked at these premiums for the dental, for the vision, same thing here for our group dental. It's either individual or family. Doesn't matter how many employees, but let's say this person is an individual, they're going to pay $5 a week. That's $20 a month. They have to have the plan for a year. Then they're going to get $15 back for their cleaning. Yeah, it's garbage. Who would do that? Just go and pay out of pocket, right? Or find something on the marketplace. That's why I'm saying this is not going to be something that you're going to be like, ooh, yay. And also the commissions on this policy, remember they're paying $5 a week. I think the commission is like, it's much less than an accident plan. It's not great.
And it doesn't count for convention credit.
Does not count for convention credit. It does not count towards like a code bonus or anything like that, right? If it would like add it on because it's not going to be in your e-app. They take longer to process. It has to be paper copies. This is, I'm only giving you the information so you know, like when people are like, oh, it says you have vision and dental. And you can be like, yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. This is not my favorite plan. Okay. So there is a marketplace bulletin. It does go into more of the eligibility. We do have some franchises that do have these programs already established, specifically the vision, especially like Covenant Care Services. We have a couple on our team that have the vision plan. Vision's not bad. Like, I'm not opposed to doing the vision. That's like very similar to what like I've had at my past school districts and stuff. Dental plan though, whenever I dove into that, it's real rough. I've had to call customer service and sat on the phone on hold for 45 minutes just so somebody can get a card because they can't get through. Like, it's just going to be a lot of extra work. It's not going to be something that I'm going to be like, you should definitely sell that. Okay. This isn't an application for the group. Again, this has to be signed by the employee. The employer. And then this is the one that's signed by the employee. Very similar to the vision one. It's not front and back. This was just a single-sided, but again, you need their social security number if you're going to insure a spouse or dependent. Okay, you need to have that for yourself. I do have a little bit more information. I have a folder on the vision and the dental. It has like a list of providers. It has a list of what do I do for customer service, yada, yada, yada. So if somebody's like, crap, I'm going to Covenant Care Services and they have questions about the dental and I don't know where to find that, just shoot me an email and I'll share my folder with you. That's no problem. I have it already in there. I have like a customer service rep that you can call for the dental. But in my humble opinion, this is not going to be something that I'm going to teach my team to go out and close a case based on. You're not going to go out and be like, oh, and by the way, not only do we have this really great group term and a really great cancer plan, but we also have vision and dental. Because that does happen where people are like, oh, I'm very excited. I have all these things, all these options. And then when you come down to how much are they paying for dental and how much are they paying for vision, you're getting a very small percentage for a lot of work on your part. And you could have had them spending that $15 every 2 weeks on life insurance.
Or they could get a better deal with one of our brokers or something. They could sign up.
Yes, 100%. If you didn't hear that on the recording, Danielle said you could get a better deal with one of our brokers. 100%. So these are the ones that are offered through Liberty National. Okay. Yes, sir.
So whenever, because I had somebody ask me this morning when I walked in, if like, do we have a list of brokers that we use for like actual insurance? Because there's people asking about actual insurance.
Yes.
And then
So
forward that to
Adam asked, for people on recording, Adam asked, do we have a list of people that we send if somebody's asking for health insurance information? Yes, we do. We have a spreadsheet, Derek runs it, of brokers that we have contracts with. We also have information on like, what do they specialize in? Because sometimes they specialize in long-term, short-term disability. Sometimes they specialize in individuals. Sometimes they specialize in groups of this many employees, okay? So what you're gonna do is if you have somebody that's looking for health insurance information, you're gonna email your AD, say, this is the business that I'm working with. They want information on health insurance brokers. Here are the details that I know. Then we will send you back, these are the people that you're gonna contact. I have an example email that I send because not only am I gonna send that to you and say, Adam, here's how you're gonna forward that information to that decision maker, but I'm also gonna email those brokers so that they know that information is coming. So case in point, I have a business out in Mount Vernon. I have some people that they are not offered health insurance, so they're looking for an individual side. So I send that information to those individuals and say, here are our brokers that I would recommend. And then I also contact those 3 brokers and say, this person is looking for insurance. They will be contacting you. I gave them your information. Here's also their contact information so you can put it in motion. That's on an individual side, right? So like they can take care of it themselves. On a business side, if it's like, hey, we don't want to close your case because we want to get major health care, you want to be involved in that conversation so that helps you close the case. I have no problem with that, sir. I definitely want to get you hooked up with one of our brokers, but in the meantime, let's get this Worksite Advantage program set up for you so you people have at least something. Then we can get you rolling on that healthcare so that we're not like, we have some cases right now that they're like, well, they want to get health insurance, blah, 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 blah. So now we're on pause. So we didn't handle that the right way. We want to move forward with Worksite Advantage if we can, and then connect them to broker. Danielle.
So in short, are you saying that when they ask you, yes, we can do that, but just like you vet anyone you refer out, our brokers that they work with through us.
Love it.
Like us to at least know who you are so that we can recommend you truly.
100%. So let me establish a relationship with you first, and then I'm going to pass that information on to the broker, and I'm going to get you in touch with them. So you're the liaison, so you can keep your finger on the pulse so you don't lose out. Because what you don't want is them to be like, oh, perfect, I set up health insurance, I don't need Worksite Advantage anymore, right? Now you just got our broker a new contract, good for them, and you lost your sale, right? So short answer, if you have somebody that's like, I need information for health insurance, great. You're gonna email your AD and your AD is gonna email you back. This is what you're gonna send. Here's who you're gonna copy, blah, 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 blah. Okay, they're gonna help you. We're not gonna ever, not ever, I wouldn't say, like, I know some of the lead SAs and the GAs, they have access to that spreadsheet, but we're not opening that spreadsheet up to all the agency because some of that information is delicate. And also we wanna, the people that have a relationship with those brokers should be the ones that are contacting those brokers, because otherwise it's just gonna get lost in their email, right? So let us help you with that so we can get it going for you.
So it'd be wiser for us to send the information to the people if they're trying to get it on a separate side to you guys.
You're gonna send it to your AD regardless if it's a business or individual side. If somebody says, hey, I need information on healthcare, major healthcare, you're gonna be like, perfect, I know exactly who to put you in touch with. I'm gonna email my director right now. And then we're gonna handle it from there. You're gonna give us as much information as you can. This is an individual that's looking for their family. They lost their job, blah, 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 blah. This is a business. They have 25 employees. They're looking for healthcare. You're gonna give us that information. We're gonna respond back with the appropriate people that you're gonna contact.
And isn't it also true, maybe I missed it. I gave you another background on this. I think that the only people who can actually work with the broker itself have to have been here a year.
Yes.
So it really doesn't.
It doesn't behoove you a lot to do anything with brokers unless you engage the AD or your SA or GA, because like Adam, you've been here, I don't know how many months, 6 months, whatever. So like if you were to go and close a broker contract, you can't get paid on any of that. It's gonna go to escrow.
Right.
So you're gonna wanna have somebody that's been here longer to help you get that contract going because of eligibility, and there's all the rules for home office. So short answer is you're gonna send it up, and when we're gonna send it right back to you and be like, answer it, right? The email is the best way for us to contact, get that information to you, as opposed to a verbal, like, I don't know about you, Terry, but I can't remember anything that somebody tells me verbally. So I'm gonna be like, you'll have to write that down or email me. Okay, any other questions about vision dental? Short spurt about that. Okay, again, not gonna be something that I'm gonna encourage you to go out and sell crazy amounts of, because it's, especially the dental, is a pain in the ass. Okay, vision's fine, but again, you're not going to make a whole lot of money. And if I could get them to spend that $5 more on life insurance, I'm going to make a lot more money than whatever 50 cents I just made off of that vision plan. That's just going to be my call. Okay. All right. So then the next thing that we want to talk about is claims, and I'm going to have Deanne come up here and talk with me about this stuff, because
While you're sitting out here, you know that. Your backup did not
Ah.
run this.
we're going to talk. Well, you're not running it, but you're coming out and hang out with me. Okay. So
She can do that.
home office is changing the way that we process claims, okay? It used to be feasible, not necessarily advisable, but feasible for us to file claims on the online billing system on behalf of our clients. Okay, so for instance, I'll throw myself under the bus. I have an account. I have literally like 18 different accident plans registered under my name so that I can go in and process claims for people. It's an online system. You upload your UBO4s. You say, yes, this is who I am. Yes, I want my check sent here, yada, yada, yada. You can track the system. You can see all the things. It's fantastic. But now we're not doing that anymore. Okay, they have shut it down where we're not allowed to process a claim. Like, I can't process a claim through you, Anthony, if you have an accident plan. I can help you get your system set up so you can process it by yourself. And we have a lot of people that are very good at computers and can do that on their own. I have plenty of clients that can get on the website and they can file their claims on their own. However, I also have quite a few clients that can't do that by themselves because they don't know how to operate the online portal, or they're not submitting the correct paperwork at the right time. They're not getting paid out what they think they should get paid out because they didn't submit all the paperwork that they need. So what they've asked us to do at home office is to submit claims through the QM email system unless they're doing it for themselves. Okay, so if you're going to set somebody up to do their own claim by themselves, I have an example email where it gives them the website that they can go on, and it says you're going to upload your UBO4 or your CMS 1500 from the hospital. if you are sitting at a re-enrollment and you're talking about like, hey, Joe, you have this accident plan and you've had it since 2019. And yay, I'm so excited for you. Did you have any accidents? And he's like, yeah, I broke my leg last November. And you're like, great, let's get a claim filed for you so you can get some money. And then you're like, oh crap, how do I even do that? Right? So this is a new packet that you need to have in your enrollment binders or wherever. Okay, it's 4 pages. So this first page is our claimant statement. Anybody that's filed a claim before, you've seen this before. Basically says what the heck happened. And it's the official form that they say, yes, this broke. I had to go to the hospital. I had a blood pressure, whatever. Okay. On the back of it, it has a couple of questions that we have to answer. Was an ambulance taken? Did you stay overnight? Did you have any blood transfusions? Were there any x-rays or broken bones? What was the nature of the incident? I slipped and fell when I was drunk at a frat party and I broke my face. What does that tell me? It's not going to pay. I can't file that claim for them. I'm going to catch it before I send all that paperwork up and then they get a nasty letter from home office and then they're mad, right? I got my foot stuck in a grain auger and it ripped my leg off and I had to have it amputated below the knee. Yeah, that happened to me this week, right? So, all right, perfect. Did we take an ambulance? Did we stay overnight? Did we have any blood transfusions? Did we have a okay, all of those things need to be answered. You can literally hand this form to them and they can do it right in front of you, okay? They can handwrite this and hand it right back to you. Or they can scan it and email it if they're capable of doing that, right? If they're not of the technology wise, I would highly recommend having them hand it back to you before you leave that business, okay? Last 2 sheets is the HIPAA. Sorry, guys, on there. Those are those questions. My apologies right there. So you can find out. Oh, great question also. When did it occur and when did you get the treatment? Because why? Why do I need to know that?
Within 48 hours.
It has to happen within 48 hours. Well, I broke my foot, but I didn't think it was broken, so I waited until the next week, and then it swelled up like 3 times as big. So then I went to urgent care, and they sent me to emergency room. We have problem after problem after problem. Okay, so I know that before I'm like, oh yeah, you're gonna definitely get $1,600. Let's back that truck up. Okay, I'm not gonna say yeah, you're gonna get that. Okay. 3rd page is the HIPAA release. You need to have them sign a HIPAA release that says we can get their medical records. And then the last one is going to be a list of the medical providers. Okay, again, they have to sign that. So if we're submitting this claim on their behalf and we're not calling the hospital to get their forms and whatever, because we're not doing that anymore, they have to release all of that information to us. And if they took an ambulance, we need to know where they took, what the ambulance company is, because ambulances are not always associated with the hospital. That could be a completely different company, right? And that's going to be a completely different invoice. And then they're mad because the hospital bill doesn't show the ambulance and they didn't get paid out on that. Well, that's because you didn't get the right form. Okay, so we need to have all of that written down. When we send this to home office, then that releases that paperwork to home office to get all of that stuff. We've had a couple of instances now where we've tried to get the forms for them, and that hospital is trying to charge $60, $80, whatever to send that paperwork. Do you want the agency to have to pay for that? No. Liberty National is not going to pay for that. Like, there's not a budget to pay for people's medical paperwork, right? So that is becoming a situation, but that's going to be on that person to get their paperwork. Okay? The majority of medical institutions will give that paperwork with a request, with a HIPAA release form from our home office. If not, then that's going to be on that client to get that paperwork and submit it themselves. Okay, we do not have a full-time claims person to submit all of our claims for us. We need to know how to do this ourselves. At bare ass minimum, these 4 pages. Like, I'm not going to have Anthony come to me and be like, all right, so I went to this enrollment and this dude lost his foot at the grain auger and like, I need you to process that claim. Right? That's not my job to do that. I just trained Anthony on what information I need to get from that person. Okay, and then we can send this up to home office and then they can process it. But like, your ADs don't have time to do all the claims. BN doesn't have time to do all the claims, right? So we need to at least get the information in order to do that. So recap, we used to be able to do it on the online system. We can't do that anymore. You can sit with them and help them set up their online billing thing, portal.
And I'd like to add to that. So
Speak this way so I
what
can
me and
see it.
Derek have been finding out with that online portal is that you still can give your client access to see what's going on with their claim. We can still submit through there, but what we're doing is we're sitting down with them and we're going, hey, let's set up your account. Do you mind if I have your username and your password? That way I can upload these documents, or I can check in on and see what's going on and get you updates as needed. Or if I see something come through, can I log in as you and see that? They can give you that authorization. Do it through a text, do it through an email, so you have it verified and you've got, you know, clarity from them that they are okay with you having that. So that is a workaround, not submitting it for them by creating your own account, saying, okay, this is my policy, but my name's different on there. So that's a workaround. All right, the other workaround is like what Diana is saying. You get the forms, send them to the QM. Me and Amanda will go through them, make sure it's everything we need, send it up. Downside, again, we don't have access to that portal. I can't see anything for the next 2 to 3 to 4 weeks until the claims report comes in. And then it's just this random a bunch of information. It's hard to follow. I can't go key search a person's name and get them a status update without sitting home office and email, waiting the polite 48 hours, business hours, to get a response before I go, again, second response request for status update. Now I've got an upset policy holder. Why have I gotten the information? So it can be helpful if you guys go and do that little bit of workaround, get them to create that account and give you the authorization to have that information. You can pass that on to your AD. AD can pass it on to me and let me know, hey, can you follow up on this policy? Keep an eye on it for me. It's kind of complicated, blah, blah, blah. That's fine.
If you have them on the online system. But again, like what she said is for the documents that we get when a claim is processed, it's processed by the date. Okay, and we get you guys get a report daily on the claims that go through or not through. And what happens is they have to go day by day by day by day. We filed a claim for Anthony Barks. What's the status update? Well, I gotta go to day by day by day by day until I can find him in this thing. There is no search feature.
Nope.
I can't just Google in Epic Anthony's name and see what the status is. I have to go to day by day the filing. That's ridiculous. We don't get paid to do that, right?
It's horrendous.
So to surmise, we can still do online if they create their own account, or we help them create their own account.
Yes.
Written permission so that covers everyone's liability.
Some sort of permission.
Right.
Verbal is fine, but you know how that goes.
Yeah.
It would not be a bad idea to have this.
So option 1 is online. Option 2 is do the physical written out ones, especially if you're sitting at a re-enrollment.
Even if they're online, I would still fill these
So
out.
do both. Okay.
You still need these filled out because they're going to need to submit it anyway. And I'd
Yes.
like to recap a little bit on what Diana was talking about. You're busy, you're at enrollment, I get it, you're trying to jump to the next person. This is what I know is coming, because you guys, it's bounce from one person. You want to try and get through all the people, right? And you got 4 pieces of paper, so he goes, I got 2 claims. I'm waiting to see this next person and I'm about ready to run out of time. So, bare minimum, give me social and signature, fill out the questions on the back, okay? Questions on the back are going to tell you if you have more than just the one provider on the claim form. So you guys see right here where it happened at home, and then right above that, name and address of provider. Okay, so those questions right there are answered by the back of this page. When did it happen? Where did it happen? Did you take an ambulance? So when you go, oh, they took an ambulance. I need more than just this provider information then, because I've got to get the ambulance bill paid for them. So on the back here, I'm going to know ambulance. Okay, where'd you go see the ambulance at? What ambulance was it? Did you take an air evac? You guys all in air transport, emergency transport? Ask that question like her guy with the auger. If he hadn't have answered my question, I knew there was an ambulance, but then he goes, oh yeah, then I was transported via air evac from the emergency room to a different trauma unit, and then he stayed there for 7 days. He didn't answer that I was in the hospital, but he goes, and then I was stayed there for 7 days. So it's those questions and the reason they're there. So those questions will help you answer this, but at minimum, social, signature. Get the date of the incident, when they sought treatment, and then that tells you on those answers of what to fill out on the provider list, because you need that to send to home office. So if you have this, doesn't matter if they created an account or not. We've got this information. We can go look at their policy, fill in the rest of the data, move on.
You can hand this packet to them. If you're like, I gotta get to the next person, hand it to them on a business card and be like, by the end of the day, I need it back, or you gotta scan it or email it to me. Okay, that's on them again. If they're not technologically savvy, then you're gonna have to follow up. But I mean, they could even snail mail it to you. The address is on the card. But we have to start taking that initiative, because right now we can't just like, I did it. Just send me the forms and I will upload it for you. We can't do that anymore. They shut that down. Okay. So I'm going to show you what that looks like if you guys have never seen the claims thing. So if you've never seen this, you need to know where this website is. Okay. It's home.globelifeinsurance.com/libertynational/claims. If you looked up Liberty National Claims in Google, it should pop up. Okay. If you don't have it, let me know. But this gives everybody the example of what they need for whatever type of claim it is. Oh, it's an accident claim. Here's my directions. Oh, here's my cancer claim. Here's my directions. Okay. Once you have it here, like, you can have them set up an account. This is my account. Stupid things in the way. Okay, and then I log in. Oh, it's gonna make me register again. Okay, but you got to do that, and that's where you're going to create that account for those people. Very simple to set up. It's free. I wish I could show you what it looks like, but there's a spot in there. You can play with it. You can go in there and it shows you how to file a claim. You can e-file a claim, but you will have to do that for them. If you need me to walk you through more of that process, I can do a video on how to process a claim, get them set up with an account. I can do that and send it to you guys. But bare ass minimum, these 4 sheets. Okay, so what questions can I answer? Because I know we got some people back there like asking questions. What can I answer?
I was just making sure I was on the right site.
Yeah, I had the URL open.
Okay.
So we've only specifically talked about accident claims.
Yes. So if you're doing a cancer claim, very, very, very similar to the medical history, the
All the paperwork
authorization for
is the same.
HIPAA. The only difference right here is probably you're not going to have as many, like, when did it happen? You need to put your diagnosis on there. When did you get the diagnosis of the malignant, right? And then in addition to that, they have to have the doctor's notes and the test results that says it was malignant. Okay, again, we can explain that to them. You can go to this site. It literally says that. You have to have the doctor's notes and the examination that says it was not just a tumor, it was a malignant tumor, and it was cancer. When you have a cancer claim, they can do it each time they get chemo or surgery, or they can do it after their course of chemo and their surgeries. Okay, so you can have it filed each time. When they want to do that, I'm going to highly recommend that you set them up with their own accounts. They can do that themselves. If they want to do it, I had 15 sessions of chemo. Here's my documentation, shows all that. Then we send it up like this. Send it up. On a life claim, that's different. Okay, we're going to talk about that. But again, health insurance, the health policies, that's all listed here. And if you literally go to that spot, it literally shows you exactly what you need. It tells you which forms. You can click on it and print it. So you're going to home.globelifeinsurance/libertynational/claims. Like, make it a bookmark. You should have a folder on your bookmarks bar of your Liberty National stuff. Okay, if you don't, you should have that. And if you don't know what to put in your bookmark bar, come and see me. I've got a whole list. There's a list in our team drive, my team. So
Before we jump to life, I wanna-
yeah, life is here. Okay, you want to say something?
Yeah,
before that?
before she jumps onto life, I want to explain to you guys a couple of things that I've been running into. Derek's had these issues as well. Derek and I head up most of the claims between the two of us. We probably handle most of the claims in the office. But I've been running into this, and so is Derek. The certain hospitals are not giving the UB04 CMS 1500 to the policyholder. They won't give it to me. They want me to pay for the record. So this is what's kind of created such a kink, will you say, of us trying to get the right forms and get this to home office however they want it. And that's why it's holding us up and being able to file claims for the clients. So if the client can't get it, I can't get it. These are the forms that we need to be able to send it to home office and tell them to do their job. Then you go do it. You go get those forms. So that's where you need to be in contact with your client. And that's why it's going to be helpful to have that portal on there, because you can see if they got a letter saying, oh, well, we need the UB04. Guess what I can do is as your QM, or, you know, that if you're the AD, you can be like, well, actually, we sent you the HIPAA form because we were getting declined, and so is the policyholder. And that email can come from the QM email, and we can basically challenge home office and say, hey, well, this is what happened. We got told no. Policyholder got told no. We sent you the HIPAA forms.
Now it's on you.
Now we need you to request the records. So that's the reason that it's gotten so sticky and touchy, is because the hospitals are getting worse about not handing over the records, even to the actual person that was in the hospital. Yes, ma'am.
Do you happen to know any of those hospitals those are? Like, is it a Mercy? Is it a BJC?
I've had it happen to where they freely gave it to me. The other times they said nope.
So
It's
no
same
been random, same hospital, random.
I think it's the person.
The
Like
person
whoever
you
you
get,
get a hold
whether
of.
they're new and they look at the record, and says no, and other people that have been there forever and they're like, yeah, just have it. Yeah, Tommy.
Can you do me a favor? You're saying you're holding up forms, I'm assuming, and saying make sure you get these signed. Can you tell me because I literally have I'm doing one right now where she states that the hospital will not give her UB04 form. What are you talking about that's that you're saying form
The one
filled
on the
out?
screen. So you want the claim form,
Okay,
the HIPAA form,
yeah,
the medical provider history.
Friday. Okay,
And I can send you the packet. Like I'll send
yeah,
it training, and everybody will
of
have
course.
a 4-page PDF that's out there. So I'll send that to you, Tommy, so you have it. I'm sure you have the
All right.
forms, not all in the same spot. So I just put them in
Honestly,
the same
guys, I
spot.
think it's more of the hospitals and some of the doctor's offices are wanting to get paid for those medical records. It's a digital copy. For heaven's sake, you've got to put it in your computer system anyway. And
One a little bit more on that though. I've had this happen quite a few times where people don't even know what the UB0404 form is. So typically what works for me is having them call somebody different or asking for a manager. Because if it's somebody that's relatively new, because my understanding, we're the only company that asks for the UB04 form or the CMS 1450. So it's not generated very often. So the person that's working may not have seen the form before. Does that make sense?
And it's also the fact that they don't even, the insurance companies that use the UB04, which is your itemized billing list, the coded billing set list, if that makes sense to you guys. The reason is why it's never requested is because insurance companies send them a bill, it matches up with the coded, they pay the bill, boom, done. There's no request for it. So it's like if you do, like Tommy said, you get somebody new, it's probably what's happening.
And I have examples of what a UB04 and a CMS 1500 look like, which is a blank one. So you can send that back to your person if they're like, I don't even know what you're talking about. But you're right, Tommy, you have to tell them to call the billing department. They can't just talk to the receptionist, and they probably need to talk to somebody who's been there for a second, a supervisor.
And if they say they can't do it, definitely say, call back. Give it about a half hour or so, tell them to call back and ask for somebody different or ask for management, because they should be able to give it to you. I fight with them, but they know that I'm a supplemental company. I pay to the policyholder. Guess what? I don't pay to the hospital, so they don't have nothings for giving me that file. So that's the hard part that I run into. But as a policyholder, they should have the right. They just need to ask for the right person. But just keep that in mind. It's not just us. It's all the way across the board, even for the policyholder to get those forms.
I did print a bunch of these claim packets, so if you don't have any in your binders, definitely need to make sure that you carry at least 5, because if you have a policyholder that even if they have to file multiple claims, you can give them one, they can go make a photocopy of it, but carry those with you, just like you would carry your brochures with the cancer endurance plan or anything else.
Yes, please, because what happens, like you said, if somebody isn't computer savvy or doesn't even have a printer, they don't know how to sign that form when I email it to them. So if you have it, that you can move on to your next client, it's done. Also, it saves you and them both time. So just to get those quick signatures, and it makes your enrollment go a lot better, because they're like, well, I don't want to keep this policy. I filed a claim last year, never heard anything. Well, they never chased down the paperwork that I asked for them. You don't know that. I don't remember. It was a year ago. They never got back in touch with me. Then you go back to do the enrollment when they're mad at you and they don't want the policy anymore. Now, if we've got these forms right there, sign here. I'll make sure it's fine.
All right, so then we're going to talk about life claims. Okay, this doesn't happen very often, but I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for your help.
Yeah, it's already passed.
I know. Okay, so on a life claim, again, these don't happen very often, but you do want to be prepared if it does. Okay, my first life claim, I had no idea what I was doing, which is kind of awkward. When somebody is either, like, it can happen two different ways. One, they could call you with bad news that this person passed away. They're asking if they have coverage, okay? Or two, this is how my first one happened. I was at a re-enrollment and I was going through policies with somebody and their daughter had passed away. And so whenever I went through like, oh, you have life insurance for this person, this person, this person, he like burst into tears. Happy tears because he had asked his HR person if he had had coverage and she said no. So this was a good thing that he was going to get some money to help pay for that situation. But I didn't really know how to file the paperwork, okay? Again, this information is on that same website, on the claims site, okay? Basically, you need proof of death, okay? And this is going to be an awkward conversation. So somebody calls you, hey, my husband passed away. I know I had life insurance on him. How do I get that processed? I'm going to take as much of that responsibility on my own shoulders that I can. They do have to sign a claim form and we do need a death certificate. Okay, so this claimant statement is available on that website. It's also available in my Team Drive, but it does have a signature at the bottom. Okay, right here is the beneficiary. The beneficiary has to be the one to sign it. If the beneficiary is not the policy owner, like let's say it's a spouse, but the policy owner was the employee, then that beneficiary, like the beneficiary is the daughter, right? Let's say that both of them have to sign. Okay. If it's an employee, but the beneficiaries, like they have, does that make sense? They both have to sign. Okay. And it does say that here. The other thing is if it is less than 2 years old, you do have to give them the authorization for medical treatment, health information pursuant to HIPAA. That's attached to that second form. That is going to let them pull the medical records to show that there was no contestability on the life policy. Okay, for instance, I die, my life insurance is less than 2 years old. I said I wasn't diabetic. I died from insulin shock. They go back in. They said, oh, she was diagnosed with diabetes back in 2021. She lied on her application, or the person that wrote the application didn't ask, and I'm under 50, and I got away with it because we're not asking our underwriting questions. But if I died within 2 years, what happens? That policy doesn't pay. Okay. So if it's within 2 years, you have to have this doctor's note signed, okay? You have to list what your doctor's information is. And then the last thing is if it's an accidental death. You have to have proof that it was accidental to trigger the accidental death benefit. Even if we're talking about the no-cost benefits, the $3,000, $3,000, $1,000, or if they have an accidental death benefit added onto their life insurance, or if they have an accident protector max, you have to have documentation that says it was an accident. Sometimes that is noted on the death certificate. Sometimes it is not. So when you get the death certificate, if it just says death in a motor vehicle, but it doesn't say the word accident, motor vehicle accident, you're going to either have to get an autopsy that it says that, or you have to have a police report that says that. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Again, that's all listed here on the claims. Okay, so it says that. In addition, we need the death certificate. You have to have the copy of the document that says it's assigning that money to a funeral home if you want it to be sent to a funeral home as opposed to sent to the beneficiary. If you have a power of attorney, we need that paperwork. And then if it's an accident, you do have to show that there was an accident, like with documentation. Okay, so again, very difficult conversation. You're going to try to take that pressure off. I would say the majority of life claims that I've processed, it's usually a bookkeeper that calls me and says, hey, just so you know, Joe's wife passed away. I know that he has life insurance on her. How do we get that processed? Absolutely. I want to do everything I possibly can. I need a signature on this form and I need a copy of the death certificate. Is that something that you can get me? And they're like, yes. Usually they've already got it, right? Because that person's like needing help filing all of the things. Then I'm going to help fill out as much of that document as I possibly can. If for some reason, like the last one I placed, it was for a kiddo, it was an accident, And I was like, I can't process this without a copy of the autopsy or some kind of documentation that says it was an accident because he was in a four-wheeler. I did not communicate with the parent. I communicated with the bookkeeper business owner person. Okay. So just knowing what documentation do I need. If you have a conversation in any case, like let's say, you know, Anthony gets a call from somebody that's like, I just got diagnosed with cancer and I'm freaking out. Because remember, we're the second phone call. First, it's somebody that I love. Oh my God, something just happened. Second is the insurance person. How do I pay for it? If you get a weird phone call, even if you don't work here anymore, answer the phone call and then pass the information to the next person, because you do not want what happened to me this week. This guy lost his leg in January and he's been trying to get a hold of his service provider and took 8 months to finally get a hold of me because the bookkeeper finally looked at the deduction spreadsheet. Okay. Don't be an asshole. That's not their fault that you quit working here. Send the voice message to someone else. Your AD didn't leave. Amanda and Deanne didn't leave. Send it to somebody. Okay. Just case in point. But awkward conversation, something happened. You don't know what to do because you're a spaz and you forgot all the training. That's okay. Danielle's a spaz. It's fine. I'm a spaz. It's fine.
Ouch.
Well, I know you would never, so that's why I'm calling you. So let's say I am really sorry that that happened to you. I am not quite sure what paperwork I need to get from you, but I do want to get your phone number and a good email address for you, a good mailing address so I can get you the forms that you need, and I will be in touch within 48 hours. I'm going to talk to my director and make sure I have what I need. Everybody clear? Do not drop those people because they paid for those plans. They expected service, whether we work here for 6 weeks or we work here for 6 years. Those people expect to get what they paid for. This dude lost his foot for 8 months. He's not working. That accident plan was in effect. We need to pay that for him, and he deserves to have somebody answer the phone, right? If you were on the flip side, you would want somebody to answer the phone, whether they worked here or not, like send the voicemail, right? You can forward a voicemail without ever talking to someone. So we want to train that to our people too, okay? We have new agents all the time, and we know that agents don't always stay. But if you're with somebody and they closed a case and they sold a policy and your name is on it, you need to be responsible for that too, okay? And my name's on it for my team. Terry's name's on it for her team. She wants to provide good service. That's why we're in this industry. You got into this business to help people. So we need to be able to help them even if we no longer work here. To get them the information that they need, okay? If you don't know what information you need, just tell them that. Be like, I am really sorry that happened. I am absolutely going to get the information that we need. I need a good contact number for you so I can follow up with you within 48 hours. I'm going to call my director and find it out. If your director's not available, you call Deanne or Amanda. Either one of them will know. Okay, so we talked about a lot of stuff. Again, I am not a super huge fan of vision and dental. It's a pain in the ass. Vision's fine-ish, but dental is waste of your time, waste your of the dollars that they're willing to spend out of their paycheck. Okay, so I would not do that. Definitely would not close a case based on that. If you want to close a case based on the life insurance and our cancer plan, those are our two biggest benefits, if you ask me. And then we talked about claims. Okay, so you need to have these packets. I will make sure that you guys have digital copies. Everybody has them on their team drive. If you're not sure, it should be on the agent drive soon. I'll put that out there. If you need extra copies, I'll stick them over there on the mailboxes so that we all have them. What questions can I answer for you guys on this? Anything that one-offs, I don't know what to do, all the things.
So just with the, even though the